All right, we're here with the head men's and women's cross country coach, head coach Kevin Hadsell. And Coach Hadsell, the season starts pretty shortly. It's approaching fast. Can you please give us a little insights on the MAC conference this year?
Last year, on the men's side, last year we started out the year really well, and we had a home meet against BG in Eastern Michigan. We beat BG, and then Eastern we only lost to by a couple of points, and the season went pretty well. We went on to the Lakefront Invitational in Chicago, and we won that, which is a huge invitational. But then, at the MAC meet, we just didn't run well. We were a little bit dinged up, and but that really wasn't any excuse. I mean, I felt as though we really should have been better than sixth place. But this year, I think we return the bulk of the team from last year, and then on top of that, the guys have made a pretty significant improvement over the course of last year's outdoor track season, and then for the summer this year. I think that the realistic goal for the men, because we did lose our number one runner from last year, the realistic goal for the men is to finish at least where we finished last year. But we're really kind of pointing towards the future too, because our entire team is young. The bulk of the better guys on our team are only sophomores eligibility-wise, and so they're still kind of learning how to race at this level and how to handle the emotions and everything else that go with to trying to challenge for MAC championships. We did end the year really well on the men's side last year. We finished 15th in the region. That we hosted here at the University of Toledo, and that was the highest finish that we had, and so we ended on a really good note. But I think that with the improvements mostly of the younger guys, that this year could be another step in the right direction. It takes a long time to build up a championship program. It was actually easier on the women's side to build up a championship program. So when I got here on the women's side in '98 was my first year, and we were dead last, and we won the MAC in 2001. So it was a fairly quick jump. But on the men's side, not having full track and field, then it's just taking longer, and trying to find the right guys and the right mix. And I think that right now on the men's side, we're on that right track, and really we're pointing towards. I mean, obviously we want to do as well as we can this year, but realizing that we're young, we take some chances. You take a lot of chances when you're younger, and the thing about our program, whether it's men or women, we don't fear failure, and that's hard to get the right kids for that, because deep down everybody fears failure. We all fear failure, and to get people to really go against their natural instinct in that and take some chances, that's the hard part. And so I think that the guys are starting to learn that. On the women's side, obviously, we have a high level of expectation for ourselves. We're the two-time defending MAC champions, and we were MAC runner-up the year before that. And we've only lost to one MAC school in 3 years, and that was one time, and that was the MAC championship 3 years ago. Where we got second, and then we beat that team at the NCAA regionals. So our level of expectation is to continue to be in a position where we're the team to beat. We're the team that everyone else needs to worry about. And our philosophy has always been that we we can't control other people. I can't control how much better Ohio University got over the summertime, or Central Michigan or whoever. So I don't worry about it. I'm not. It's not going to affect the way that I do things on a day-to-day basis. So we control what we can control, and we'll just let everybody else worry about us. And so over the course of the last year, we knew that we were losing Emma Cortez and Ari Fisher. That was from the day the season ended last year at the NCAA championships, and we were 21st. That day, I started thinking about the next year and how we can improve and how we can get some more people to make the big jump. And we really hit it hot, I think, all through track. On the track last year, outdoors, I want to say distance-wise, we scored like 90 points, and that wasn't all just Emma Cortez and Ari Fisher. And so the development of those younger, particularly our freshman class from last year, has been huge. And so looking to this year, you know, we knew that we returned 3 All-MAC people. We returned Megan Vogelsong and Kaylin Belair and Liz Weiler. Those 3 returned. They were All-MAC in cross country, and Weiler and Vogelsong were all region. So we knew we returned that. And then on top of that, we redshirted last year Megan Wright and Devin Ramsey. Devin Ramsey is 2-time All-MAC in cross country, and Megan Wright is a redshirt sophomore this year. 2 years ago, she was first-team All-MAC in cross country as a freshman. And so we know we returned 5 All-MAC people. And on top of that, we have additional people that weren't All-MAC in cross country, but were All-MAC in track in the distance events. Like Mackenzie Shinosky was MAC runner-up in the steeplechase, and was like 1 second away from qualifying for the NCAA first round. And so the development of those younger kids and the development of the returning kids over the course of the year has been crazy good. You know, I think that Kaylin Belair, you know, who's run like 4:28 for 1500 and 9:35 for 3,000 meters and just under 17 minutes for 5,000 meters is going to be a great leader for us. And Megan Vogelsong, you know, was the 5th fastest MAC runner ever at 10,000 meters at 34:15 last year, and is like a 16:50 or 16:45 5,000 meter runner. And then Megan Wright, like I just said, we return her, we add her in, and she ran 9:45 for 3,000 last year, 16:50 something. And Devin Ramsey is just, she's somebody that doesn't have ridiculous fast track times. I mean, she's run 9:52 for 3,000 meters, but it's just incredibly tough across country. So when you're returning 5 girls like that, I think that's a great starting point. You know what I mean? And with Devin, you know, she made a significant jump between MAC Outdoor and now. People are going to be shocked that she's going to be somebody that people are just like, wow, that's a crazy improvement. And I think the other person on our team that is going to add right away that people are going to be really surprised about is Mackenzie Shinosky. Mackenzie Shinosky right now is in a better fitness and talent level than, honestly, than Emma Cortez was last year at this time. Like, it's incredible where she's at in her development. And so, you know, the improvement of those guys and the additions of the red shirts coming in, and then we had a great recruiting class. You know, we just got back from training camp, and we do the same workout every year. It's a race. We pair them up in 2s, and each person runs slightly longer than a mile loop. That's, you know, fairly hilly. It's kind of like cross country, you know what I mean? And I'm able to compare from year to year, you know, where we're at. And right now, I mean, we have 6 women faster than our second woman last year. You know, it's crazy how much faster we are right now. And one of the big reasons for that too is the freshman Mateja Parlov from Croatia. She's even better than I thought she was going to be. You know, she comes from a situation where she basically trained on her own back in Croatia and didn't really have a team. Coach didn't live in the same town, you know, this kind of stuff. And so, and she still ran really good time. I mean, she ran 9:50 on the track maybe a month ago, and it's like a 10:40 steepler, and she's way better than that, and she's going to be a huge surprise right away. And then we signed high school All-American Lindsay Burdett out of Michigan, who was the 5th senior at the Foot Locker Finals last year, and she's in great shape. So, you know, when you're talking about the MAC, you know, our goal is to win our 3rd straight. Like I said, we can't control other people. I don't know what anybody else is going to roll up with, but my gut feeling is that as long as we stay healthy, it's going to take something pretty significant if somebody wants to challenge us. That's just that's where we're at, and that's just being honest about it. And we'll be highly disappointed if we weren't to win the MAC.
Okay, you mentioned earlier the success that the women had at the NCAA regional level. Kind of kind of go over what the region looks like this year, what you might expect to see in regional competition.
The region was great because we hosted it last year, which was huge, and we finished third. Only I want to say like 7 or 8 points out of second behind Michigan State, and we earned an at-large bid to the NCAA championships because of that. And we had 4 women that were all region, and our 5th runner finished 26, which is 1 spot away from being all region. Obviously we returned 3 out of those girls, and then we add in the girls that I'm saying, which are incredibly talented. So I think regionally, honestly, the goal is to finish at least where we finished this year, which is 3rd. I mean, it'd be great to sneak into the top 2 and get an automatic bid, but we still have some development to do. You know what I mean? We're going to get better like we always do from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. The team we roll out, because of the way that we train and the style of our training, the first few meets, we look like doggy do, man. I mean, we don't look good in the beginning, and that's because we're not doing anything in our training that would prepare us for the racing. We're racing tired, and we're racing without doing anything fast. And a lot of coaches say that, but they actually don't really follow through with that. I'm telling you, we don't do anything, And so, we went to the Wisconsin meet last year, 2 weeks before the MAC meet. We finished 35th out of 43 schools, And then a month later, we finished 21st at the NCAA's, And that's just kind of how we roll, And I think we can start off a little better than we did last year, obviously, because we're a lot more talented than we were last year. Certainly a lot deeper than we were last year. But I think realistically, by the time the region rolls around, we should be 3rd or 4th or better, and earn another bid to the NCAA's. And the goal obviously is to return to the NCAA's again. We've gone 2 straight times. No MAC school has ever done that. As a matter of fact, if we go for the 3rd time this year, then we equal the total number of times that the entire rest of the MAC has ever even been to the NCAA's. And because there's only Ball State, Eastern, and BG are the only 3 other schools that have made it to the NCAA's from the MAC, and each of those schools only made it once. And so if we make it for the 3rd time in a row, that's a huge accomplishment. And I think that ultimately at the NCAA's we can do really well. I mean, we got to stay healthy and we got to keep improving. But from what I see from our team right now, this has the potential to be our best team ever. And I said that last year, and I think that even myself, I wasn't 100% confident what I was saying, and then it ended up being our best team ever, and maybe the best team ever in the MAC. This year, I'm certain that we're better than we were last year. We're certainly a lot deeper, and we're certainly a lot more talented. And our goal ultimately is to finish in the top 12 at the NCAA's. Our whole mantra since last year has been top 12 and 12, and that's even missing graduating our number 1 runner from last year. At the NCAA's, we lose our number 1, our number 4, but with the improvements and the people we added in, we're better than we were last year, and I think it's a realistic goal to finish, at least higher than 15th, but ultimately I think a best case scenario is 12. A lot has got to happen between now and then, and of course, again, even on a higher scale, you can't control the other teams at the NCAA, but this is kind of a turning point for the women's team, honestly. This is because we're still really young. The girls that I project to be in our top 7, there's only 1 senior, and eligibility-wise, there's only 2 juniors, and so we're still young. But I think that this year is this is going to be the true test for us. You look at the best programs in the country that go to the NCAA's year in and year out. They're graduating people all the time. They're graduating All-Americans, and they still make it to the NCAA's. You know what I mean? And that's the boat that we're in right now. Are we making the jump? That we're the team that expects to be at the NCAA's every year, not just hoping for some kind of long shot miracle. You know what I mean? And if you're a program that expects to be there every year, then you deal with the fact that there's always going to be kids coming in and kids that are leaving. You know what I mean? And that's what the best programs in the country do. And that's the test now. It's the test for me as a coach, and it's the test for our program And the test for the girls is that, are we that good that we can graduate 2 women that were All-Americans and still make it back to the NCAAs? And I think that we're that good. But more importantly, the women on the team think that they're that good. Like, they expect to win the MAC, and if we don't, we're going to be more than disappointed. The words I would use, I wouldn't put on the internet right now. We expect to finish in the top 3 or 4 at the NCAA regions, and we expect to go back to the NCAAs. And if we don't do that, then we didn't do our job, because we know that we're talented enough and we know we're tough enough, and so this is the test this year. You know what I mean? To see where we stack up. I think, realistically, we'll probably start out the year certainly ranked in the top 25, but I think, by the end of the year, I think we can move up into the top 15 for sure, and just see what happens from there. But I mean, first things first, we got to take care of the MAC. Like I said, there's a lot of great coaches in the MAC, and there ain't nothing so special about us, man. Obviously, and what I mean by that is that, we're recruiting for the most part the same kids the other MAC schools are. You know what I mean? So if we were able to make the big jump, and fairly quickly, who's to say somebody else isn't going to do it? You know what I mean? Who's to say OU isn't going to do it, or Central Michigan, or somebody? You know what I mean? And so we can't control that. And like I said, that's why it's important just for us to control ourselves. So we got to take care of the MAC, and then from there on, it's really, up to us to follow through on what we expect of ourselves in terms of our level of expectation. Should be good.